what is Debbie and how does it work?
Yeah, Debbie is an app that rewards you for paying off debt and saving. So instead of the way credit cards work, where you earn points for, spending more money, we do the opposite. So we allow you to hook up your accounts, we allow you to track your debt, track your savings, and we help you set debt payoff and savings goals. Whereas you meet them, you earn points towards cash rewards.
And how did you come up with the idea for this app?
Yeah, so my co-founder and I, we met in college, and despite the fact that we both studied finance, she graduated with about $15,000 in credit card debt on top of all of her student loans. And she realized that, she needed to get out of that situation. She went on her own debt freedom journey. At the same time, she went to go work for Marcus by Goldman Sachs. It was their first year of the business. Their very first product was personal loans. Their mission was they were going to help the average American get out of credit card debt. That didn't end up happening. She was really excited about it, and she was basically seeing what was happening with the borrowers. More than half of them were rebounding back to the same level of credit card debt within less than a year. So she went to her managers, was like, guys, what are we going to do to solve this problem? How are we actually going to help people? And they said, these people, they're irredeemable, irresponsible, they'll never change. And obviously, she didn't believe that. I didn't believe that. So we realized, the strongest driver of behavioral change is positive reinforcement and incentives. You look at the financial world today, it's filled with punishments, right? Credit score dings, late fees, overdraft fees. How do we bring the world of incentives and positive reinforcement to debt payoff and savings? So that's really, what we decided to do.
Yeah, and talk a little bit more about those incentives and what they are for doing things like saving or, making your debt go down a little bit.
Yeah, so folks can cash out once they reach $50 inside the app. Usually it takes anywhere from 3 to 6 months, depending on how active they are inside the app. So for every activity, they earn anywhere from 20 to 40 points. It allows them to level up. Each level, they earn discrete cash amounts, and that gets them to that $50 threshold.
That's awesome. And this is, a pretty terrible time to be in debt right now because of interest rates as high as they are. How is Debbie uniquely positioned to help consumers who might be just socked in credit card debt?
Yeah. So as they go through the program, one of the cool things is that we're basically showing lenders that people are actually improving. They're building a track record. They're starting on this journey that shows that they're really, high intent, that they have a lot of motivation, and that they're really good candidates to be able to refinance. A lot of people struggle to refinance, to find lower rates on their debt. So for example, if let's say I owe $5,000 on a credit card at 25% APR, that's crazy. My options are maybe I could get a balance transfer, for a promotional period, or I could get a personal loan at a lower interest rate. The problem is obviously you have to have very good credit for either of those options. The other problem might be that, it doesn't necessarily work, right? You do that and then you never actually change your habits. And so we're kind of that companion that allows you to change your habits over time and then access products like that. So we have a marketplace that as you go through the program, you can access lower interest rates on your debt. We work exclusively with credit unions today because they do offer the best interest rates in the market. These are interest rates that you won't find anywhere on Bankrate, on NerdWallet, on Credit Karma. You might not even know that these credit unions exist. So as an example, we just helped someone refinance their debt from 20% APR down to 9%. And she had $20,000 in debt. We just did a very similar one a few days ago. Someone with $36,000 in debt, also at high interest. So I think the credit union industry is sort of the best kept secret in finance. Most consumers don't have access to that industry. A lot of them don't do kind of soft inquiries. Like if you apply, for a loan on SoFi, they'll show you here's your rate and here's what you can get approved for. Credit unions, you have to get a hard inquiry. So we make that simple. So you don't have to get a hard inquiry. We help you see what offers you can qualify for based on your credit, based on, your situation. And we help connect you to a credit union that can get you a much better interest rate.
Yeah, that's huge. And when you were talking about balance transfer cards and personal loans and how hard it is for a lot of folks who are in debt to get these because of, what their credit score is, are you guys more welcoming to people with lower credit scores? Do you have a certain threshold that people have to meet, or is Debbie pretty much available to anyone who needs it?
So I will say that in order to qualify for the interest rate reductions, definitely, above 600 credit score is really necessary. Lenders are still making it difficult, even in the credit union industry. That being said, I think what our mission is long term is we want our platform to be a place that lenders trust, where they know that even if your credit score says you have a 580, because you've been on the Debbie program for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, they'll still underwrite you, or they'll still give you a loan because they know that you're really, really motivated, and your score maybe isn't reflecting how you're actually acting as a borrower. So that's the long-term vision. We're not there yet, but that is definitely the goal. And we're working already with our lenders to get either preferred pricing for our users, or to even underwrite lower.
And when did you guys launch? And are you starting to already see success stories among your customers?
Yeah, so we launched the app in March of 2022. And originally we didn't have what we call Rate Crusher. That's the interest rate marketplace. We didn't have that. So it was really an app where you just earned rewards for paying off your debt. We saw people pay off 3 times more debt after starting Debbie, so around $450 a month on average. We saw people saving where they weren't before, so around $100 a month on average. Which was crazy. These are people who didn't have any emergency savings or anything. We saw one user, she built up an emergency fund of over $1,000 in less than 6 months. Another user, he paid off $3,000 in credit card debt also in less than 6 months. So we're really starting to see, people, like you said, having those success stories. The Rate Crusher marketplace, we launched this summer, so a few months ago, and that was really in beta. So we were using that with our existing users who were already on the platform, and now we've launched it more broadly to the rest of the United States.
And I should have asked earlier, why the name Debbie?
Yeah, so it's a play on words, play on Debt Debbie. It's a bit of I guess there's a lot of male fintech names out there, like Marcus, Albert, Finn, Dave, Charlie, Henry. We wanted to prove that you could have a fintech company or a fintech startup that serves everyone, that has a female name. And it's also my mother's name and Frida's sister's name.
Oh, perfect. I love it. The connection. These days with apps, we hear all the time that they're just taking so much information from us. And obviously you guys are entrusted with a lot of, private, personal financial information. What are you guys doing to protect users' data?
Yeah, everything's encrypted. Our CTO, he previously worked in cybersecurity, so everything is under lock and key. Any of our lending partners, we don't share any of the data with them. So none of the contact information, we share no PII with them. So if they do market to our borrowers, to our users, we do all of that. So we maintain and manage all the data. None of that is shared with our partners.
Awesome. Rachel, is there anything else I didn't ask you about this app that you feel like is worth mentioning?
Yeah. So alongside just the challenges, the money challenges that we do for points, one of the things that we developed that I think is actually a really important part of the program that a lot of people, they feel has improved their lives is what I call Noom for Finance. So if you've ever heard of Noom, they're a leading weight loss company, and their whole ethos was, we're not going to sell you a diet. We're going to help you understand yourself, your habits, your triggers, the things you saw growing up that influenced your relationship with food. So it was really around the psychology of food. And we took their content and their curriculum and essentially reframed it for the world of finance. So thinking about what contexts you spend money in and how to think about those contexts and maybe avoid them in the future. So it's really money therapy. So we've transformed that into bite-sized modules that people get every single week. They also earn points for doing those modules. They're really highly correlated with better debt payoff outcomes as well. And so people come back every single week to complete their content. It's not kind of traditional financial literacy. We're not just teaching you how to use credit cards and how to save. It's about unwinding and kind of changing your whole financial mindset. And there are a lot of folks doing this out there, and they're charging hundreds of dollars for courses and, whatever it is. This is absolutely free. So we've taken all of those best learnings and offered it to folks for free.
So how do you guys make a profit?
Yeah, so our lending partners pay us. We're super transparent about that, by the way. In the curriculum, in the modules, we tell users exactly how we make money. So it's one of two ways. One is either when someone refinances or takes out a product inside the Debbie marketplace, Our lending partners, our financial partners, they pay us an affiliate fee for that new customer, that new member. The other way is that our financial partners actually do sponsor their community to be able to access Debbie for free as well. So if, let's say, you are a member of a credit union like MSUFCU, Michigan State University Federal Credit Union, they're one of our partners. So they've sponsored their entire community, all of kind of MSU and their members to use Debbie for free. And they use that sort of a co-branded version of the app where they know that MSUFCU is sponsoring them.